back to the Israel Guys, where we believe in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda. You should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, we're jumping right in. We're live here on a farm. The cowboys are here. We've got about 20 volunteers out in the fields on a farm just here in the Jordan Valley. As you can see behind me, Jordan, just to tell you right now, pretty quiet. There's rumors that the Jordanians have started to do some drills and things like that. For this point, we don't know exactly what that looks like, but here right now, pretty quiet over there. I hear some minarets going off, but that's normal. Pretty quiet on this side. Not like the Gaza border, obviously, down south, and the northern border with Hezbollah and Lebanon, Syria fronts. Those are also heating up. But we're going to talk about today the front with Gaza, number one. The front with Lebanon and Syria, 2 and 3. The fourth front is one that nobody's really talking about, and that's what we're going to address today. As everybody knows, the Cowboys are now in Israel. I've probably talked to 100 reporters in the last 24 hours about the Cowboys. We've been on interview after interview after interview. I don't know if there's anybody in the world that doesn't know about the Cowboys that have arrived. And honestly, everybody's asking the question, what are they doing in Judea and Samaria, what the world calls the West Bank? But by the way, that's Arab propaganda. West Bank, everybody that uses the terms West Bank has been duped into the Arab propaganda that says this is West Bank. Guys, it's a mountain region. My gracious. If you want to call it the bank, maybe this little piece that I'm standing on right now could be called a bank, but not the entire region. All of Judea and Samaria is no bank. It's a big mountain region. So literally the world has been duped by Arab propaganda and calling this area the West Bank. So number one, stop being duped by Arab propaganda and get it right. We're talking about Judea and Samaria. This is the biblical heartland of Israel. And this is the fourth front of this war. And very soon, I believe the world will find out. Lord willing, this does not happen, but we need to make you aware of what's this actual situation here. So I'm going to outline for you right now what the actual situation here in Judea and Samaria. There's 500,000 Jews here. They're surrounded by 2 million Arabs. Now, the big question is, are those 2 million Arabs just like the Arabs of Gaza? And will they attack these communities, these 200 communities throughout Judea and Samaria? We're talking about small communities just dotted out throughout the regions here, surrounded by immense populations of Arabs. And how hostile are those Arabs? Well, I'll tell you from personal experience, from being around here and going into the Arab villages. Number one, Hamas is very popular here. Everyone says that Hamas is popular. No, Hamas is very popular. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. They're having Hamas rallies in many of the places here. Hebron is being run by Hamas. They're having Hamas rallies in Nablus, Shechem, and in Jenin, and all these places. Hamas is very popular here. And I'll say, if they're not with Hamas, they're with one of the other 22 terror organizations operating in this region. The other thing is to note is the political world is telling everyone that the Palestinian Authority is some sort of moderate in this situation. We've talked about this many times on the show, but I want to clarify again. All the Palestinian leadership are saying in Arabic that they're hoping and wishing for the same kind of massacre. They want to repeat October 7th here upon the communities in Judea and Samaria. Now that should frighten the world, and it should not only frighten us, but it should put us into gear. We should say never again, and we should mean it. These communities are in desperate situation. The Arabs here are violent. We're talking about a majority of the communities around here have enough violence within them. Just last night, there was a shooting. A husband, wife, and the child were shot. Pray for them. They're critically injured. This just happened. This is radical Islam in motion here in Judea and Samaria. Last week we saw a terrorist attack, killing a husband. Incredibly difficult situation.
We'll be right back with the rest of the show, but first, let me tell you about the Israel Bible Book of Psalms Pray Like David edition. This unique Book of Psalms is in both Hebrew and English with a verse-by-verse English transliteration. That's more than 30,000 Hebrew words made accessible to you, allowing you to read, pronounce, and understand every Hebrew word of the Psalms. Reading Psalms brings comfort and strength to the heart and soul, and now you can read them in King David's original words in Hebrew. For a limited time, our friends at Israel 365 are extending an exclusive discount to viewers of the Israel Guys. Just use the code IsraelGuys at checkout, and you can get the Israel Bible Book of Psalms for only $24.99, nearly 40% off the retail price of $39.99. Dive into the Psalms, walk in the footsteps of King David, and pray with renewed passion and understanding. With the Israel Bible Book of Psalms Pray Like David edition, you'll pray like you never have before. Click the link in the description below to buy the Israel Bible Book of Psalms today.
People ask me where I find my inspiration. The truth is,
I want you to understand the situation here is very volatile. We've always been here to tell the good report of what's happening. But right now, you need to understand that Israel is at war, not only in Gaza, and not only on the front in Lebanon and Syria. They're at war in Judea and Samaria. This area is critical. It overlooks Tel Aviv. 75% of the population of Israel lies down on the coastline of Israel. These 500,000 Jewish people are holding the line from a radical wave of Islam that if they don't hold the line here, Tel Aviv will pay for it. Just like in Gaza. They gave up Gaza. The brave pioneers that were holding the line in Gaza, in those areas that they pulled out back in 2006. If they had not have pulled out, this atrocity would not have happened. So you have to understand that Israel cannot play a game of appeasement right now. This is not the time to appease the enemies and appease the world. It's time for Jewish life to be protected. And the way to protect Tel Aviv is to strengthen the communities of Judea and Samaria and say never again. We're not going to allow a terrorist organization, just like Hamas did in Gaza, to take over a region of Israel. Can you imagine? If this area became a Palestinian state, as the Biden administration only dreams of establishing here and is pushing for it harshly, if that happens, you have people with all of this weaponry that would be pushed straight through Jordan and straight from all the Arab countries around, directly. You can see the Ben Gurion Airport from the mountain range. This is insane. It can't happen. It's suicide to the nation of Israel, and it cannot happen. The communities here have to be strengthened. They have to be girded up, and that's what we're doing here. Everything we can. We're with Operation Itai. Operation Itai is here not only to bring help to the farmers, the critical support that they need while so many farmers are on the front lines. But today we're harvesting crops here. The cowboys are in gear. We're putting fences around the farms to keep the wild animals from destroying the crops. We're harvesting. We're doing everything that the tie workers are leaving the country. That's the main majority of work here. On top of the that, all the guys that are in the reserve duties, it's also a really, really trying time here. So we're here to fill the void. There's not many people filling these voids. We need more. We've got to bring more support. I think the biggest thing we can do right now is reach $29 million of supplies that are needed to protect the communities. After that, we need to get more boots here on the ground to help with these specific needs. So we're asking you right now, the biggest thing you can do to help us is to reach that $29 million goal of Operation Itai to bring the supplies. Our first airlift arrived yesterday. We'll have many more lifts coming in. These supplies are some of the biggest things we can do to help Israel. But remember, this front is very significant. Do not underestimate the situation here and the war against the Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria. And without these communities, the survival of Israel cannot have. Israel must have these communities in order to survive as a nation. They can't survive without 500,000 Jews holding down Israel's biblical lands here in Judea and Samaria. Guys, with that, let's go check out a few of the Cowboys that are in action out in the field. Hey guys, right now we're in a